So thank you very much, Quentin, for having us here. We are in the studio of Quentin Caffier,
yes,
and in the studio of the Five Monkeys. Are there four more?
Yes, when I created this studio in 2011, we were 3 photographers and 2 fashion illustrators. But unfortunately, with time, most of the other one left, and so I'm the only monkey standing.
You are the only one remaining. Okay,
yeah.
Good. And you won the Prix Broncolor in 2008. You won additional prizes in 2009, probably more that I don't know of. And at the same time, you write on your website that you started your professional career. Is this coincidence?
No, not really. Actually, what happened is I wanted to be like a fine art photographer and work rather like an assistant because I was really interested in the technical aspect of photography.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to have my personal work on the side. The thing is, with the 2 contests that I won, I found an agent and she started to sell me to some clients, and this is where I started working as a commercial photographer.
Okay, good. Commercial photographer, can you give us an overview? There's obviously the commercial part, but as well I saw that you're busy with art projects. So how important are these different fields for you?
Yeah, I mean that for me the commercial aspect is what I need to be able to do my personal projects. Mm-hmm. So this is what allow me to have this studio, and this is I mean the meaning of my job. So I created 2 different aliases, one for the commercial, and I just kept my name for my personal projects. Okay. My personal projects are rather around like portraits. I love to work with artists like musicians, dancers. I did some press portrait as well, and sometimes there is a few commercial projects that I accept signing with my name because it's my art direction. And on the other side, I'm working in cosmetic and spirits. Mm-hmm. There are 2 fields that are quite technical and I really enjoy because I can do a lot of different things, mostly in studio, but also sometimes outside.
Okay, but you try to keep it more or less apart, the 2 worlds.
Yes, I think that my job can be a little bit difficult to see. We will talk about some series that I've been doing, and my agent told me that it can be difficult for the clients to be associated by it. So I didn't want to make any compromises, and I decided to share the 2 parts of my jobs with 2 different aliases. And it's much easier for me because I mean, when I'm working for my clients, I'm very listening to their needs so that I am free to do whatever I want for my own projects.
Okay, sounds good. Obviously, I've been looking through some of your amazing work, and what I see is that you're very, let's say, photographically very strong. So you work, lighting means a lot to you, but you work as well very creatively with the camera, with perspectives, with filters. You have very colorful portfolios. And this leads me to the question, where did you learn photography?
Well, actually, the first photography that I did was black and white and analogic black and white. And when I switched to color photography, I wanted to work on the colors. And for me, the light were always the first thing that you have to think about. I mean, I can accept a lot of things in an image, but not that the light is not good,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've been to a photographic school for 3 years called l'ENS Lumière. That is a very technical school, and I learned analogic photography because I'm the last promotion that learned analogic photography. So the way I'm working is that I don't want to rely on digital. I like to create effects with optical elements, with the lightning, with blur, mixing flash and continuous light, all that thing that is more exciting to do on a studio and directly from the camera than doing it, in post.
Okay, very cool. Like me, I'm a studio specialist. I like it when I have things under control. And anyway, at the beginning, you walk into an empty studio.
Yeah.
And how do you come over this? How do you approach a shot or a project? Because the studio is empty, it's frightening. Do you have your picture ready in your head, or do you have an emotion? How do you approach it?
Well, the first thing is to create a mood board, and so I think that I'm trying to share the idea that I have with the clients or with the artist I'm working with, but I don't have a very specific image in my mind. What I love to create is to create like a mood, so I can do my own setups, I can do my own lightnings, I can build some stuff in my studio that is a very creative space. Mm-hmm. and then I don't really know where I'm going. The thing is, having his own studio is a very nice thing because I know all the gears that I have all the possibilities that I have. I always have like a backdrop I put on the side, thinking that maybe I will use it later, or an accessory, or I have all the toys that I want.
Okay.
And then I have no problem is totally changing the direction within the photo session. I can say, okay, I wanted to do that, but it's not a good idea anymore. I think it's better to do this, and it's totally different. And sometimes you are more creative this way. And I love surfing the chaos. Like, I think that the technical aspects are all setups. And then what I'm looking for is an emotion. And I like when the emotion is overcoming the technical aspect.
Okay. I fully understand this when you talk about art projects, personal projects, but does this kind of work, ethics work as well with clients? If you shoot commercially?
Yeah, with the clients you have to comply to a certain briefing, but it's not unusual that you can get away from the briefing and create something very new because you can feel it in the moment. I think if you have the right mood and the right team, you cannot go wrong.
Okay, good. That's a very creative and a very open-minded approach then to your photography. It's not like narrow-minded, I have to get this or that, so we really react on the stage.
Not all the clients are okay with it, but most of the people I'm working with are very open-minded to creativity, and they want to. I think they are expecting me to expect the briefing.
Okay, good, sure. And this is probably as well one of the fountains of inspiration. So let's say you work in a certain direction, you say, maybe not, and you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But are there other fountains of inspiration, like social media, other photographers' work?
Well, when I was younger, I spent a lot of time in libraries looking at a lot of art books, and not only photography. Also, I like the paintings, I like the sculptures, I like the dance, I like all form of art, and especially, obviously, the cinema. But there is also two main influences that I have: is that the comics books, and especially the way they are treating the colors. And also, I'm a big fan of video games, and some of the ideas that I have come directly from images that I saw in video games. In a way, I'm 40 now, and I think I'm from a generation where the pop culture is something that influences most of the creators. And I think it's very good to find inspiration from unconventional places.
Okay. Being on your website, I found that on the commercial category you only have two projects, and on the personal work side you have like 3 projects. So, but this comes as well from the separation of commercial work with personal stuff. Is this right?
So actually, with my name, I want to be recognized like a personal and fine art photographer rather than a commercial one. So the only commercial images that I put on my website are the one that fit with my art direction and my spirit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there is not a lot. most of the commercial work that I do, I'm not putting on my website because I don't think it looks like me.
Okay.
And I think it's more interesting to see a personal approach and something more creative than looking for commercial and advertising. You can see it everywhere.
Okay, good. Let's talk about the personal work then. I think the first one I looked at by coincidence was the Philo set.
Yeah.
And this hurt me physically, personally. Any words about this?
Yeah, actually, this project was made when I was still in school, and it was a project that kept me for more than 5 years. The idea is that I was shooting body modification procedures in analogic, and I wanted to think about this kind of pain that is very difficult to handle. This is very difficult to see, and I wanted to make very beautiful images of this, to see how the images can transcend the thing that they are showing. You can't do that. For example, there was a controversy about the war photographers like James Natchway.
Yeah.
He was accused to transform the war photography in something glamorous, and it was a moral issue. So I wanted to do something with the body modification, because it's self-inflicted, so there is no moral issue. And I wrote an essay when I was in school about the body art. And so I work on some artists like Chris Burden, Gina Payne, Bob Flanagan, Ron Ate. Most of these guys, they are trying to go very deep in their field, and I wanted to do the same when I was out in the school. So this was the moment I was supposed to be more radical.
Right. Okay. I don't know exactly which project it was, but in one you described that you are fighting for photography being recognized as art. Is it still something you care about, you fight for?
Well, the thing is, I think right now photography is recognized as, it's not really recognized as an art. I mean, documentary is recognized right now. But for example, creating an images studio, it's struggling to be recognized as an artist. Most of the people will say that you are a commercial photographer, you are doing fashion, but it's not supposed to be fine art. There is a little few photographers that succeed to be recognized as artists doing this kind of work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's very sad, but I'm keep going, and maybe it's going to change with the time. You know?
Okay, let's hope. So. Well, talking about this, I've of course as well checked out your series of the back seat, of course, where you shoot actually loving couples on the back seat, and I really have to say that these pictures, they look very super emotional and spontaneous, but they are on a technical and such a high perfection level. Highest admiration for this. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is still ongoing.
Well, for now it's on hold, but I want to shoot some more. I'm just thinking to find a new way of going further, because I think that I created like a first season with a few rules. The rules were it was only real couples, and the way I was working is I wanted to create it like isolated bubbles, and inside these bubbles that were totally controlled technically and artistically. I didn't say anything to the couple. They were just having a good time together,
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have something very slight between documentary and setups. And so you can, when you look at it, because of the technique, you can think that it's all set up, but the emotions are real. So, I mean,
exactly. I mean, this balance, finding this balance, as well. Personally, I work a lot with dancers, and all of a sudden something unexpected happens, and it actually can destroy your lighting setup. And I'm sure, well, you probably only have a back seat to illuminate, but there's certainly a lot happening, and you have to be ready. And I hope we can look at some of the photographs later on, from the cropping, how you work with the camera as well, not only the lighting. So it's amazing work.
What I was doing is that I started to use very long focal length, and I was shooting from the side. And the thing is, I was shooting with flashlights, so the model, the couple, they were knowing I was shooting at this moment, but I was far away. They didn't saw me, and so after a couple of minutes, they started to, forget me, And so this is where I was getting closer and closer and closer to try to find some details, some more intense.
Yes.
And anyway, when you are kissing the one you love for 2 hours straight, you are getting a little dizzy, and so you cannot, you lose yourself to what is happening. I really wanted to shoot in the studio because for me it was important to know that I was creating the setup, I was creating the playground, but I was not controlling what kind of play was happening inside this playground.
Okay. Talk about the playground and the prize you won a couple of years ago. What are your favorite toys on the lighting side? What is your...
I love the direct lighting. So the spotlights is one of my favorites. I'm using a lot of beauty dishes. I love the pico lights with the floaters because it's nice to use both in still life but also fashion, because I can have a very small light in the face. I love to control the light. The thing is that sometimes, every time the model is moving, she's getting out of the light, and it can be difficult. And I don't want her to be too, constrained. Yeah. So I'm always struggling to try to find the most precise lighting.
Okay.
But don't make her feel like constrained.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
And if the model moves out of the light, you have an assistant with all the precise lights following her or him, or you ask the model to go back. Do you have a
Well, it
life-
depends on the
lifestyle?
project, but when I can, I like to have an assistant that is moving the light and trying to find yeah.
Okay.
But it's quite difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Okay.
But sometimes you have beautiful accidents.
Yes, certainly. Yeah, the unwanted happens.
It happens to me that one time I was doing a very precise lightning, and I don't know, something that I was not very satisfied with it, and she moved out of one of the lightning, and the lightning was much better, and I was like, okay, this is what I need.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So sometimes, yeah, bad things happen, but as well, sometimes you can be lucky.
You can create from chaos.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And going away from photography, you have as well a film company where you work as a director. Is this?
Yeah.
Are you leaving? Are you turning your back towards photography? Do you want to make more films, or how is this going to be balanced in the next couple of years?
Not really, actually. It all came from the music, because I was shooting a lot of musical artists.
Right.
And so I've been asked for the company to create like music videos. And so this is how I started to work in videos.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes most of the clients that I have, they want to create like very small video, like snippets or animated, this kind of stuff. And so, but 80% of my work is still photography. And I think that I prefer doing that. I feel more comfortable in photography than in videos. And I do have some other associates, and we are all working together, and we are creating projects with both photos and videos. And so that I'm focused on the photo, and I have another guy focusing on video. And this is how we succeed to create a lot of assets in a short amount of time. We worked for clients like MAC Cosmetic, for Louis XIII, it's a cognac brand. We worked for Clarins, we worked for Melvita, a lot of cosmetic and spirits company, and they appreciate the way that we can be very flexible.
Okay, right. Talk about your coming years. When we prepared the talk, we spoke about the very colorful photography.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you mentioned something about black and white.
Yeah, the thing is that this is where I come from at the beginning. I mean, the first photography what I was doing was analogic black and white. I was shooting on 3x, and I love to try a lot of different products to have different aspects, you know, this. And I don't know, I was like, I wanted to go back to something simpler and that you can have a lot of control with just one light or just ambient light. And I wanted to, I don't know, try to do something different and not just, you know, running in circle. And so I've been shooting black and white with, I tried a Leica and SL2 a few months ago. And one of the first things I did is that I put it in black and white, JPEG. And this is something that is so far away from what I was, like, you know, controlling everything, shooting in RAW, shooting with colors. And yeah, I really enjoyed a lot, actually. It was something like very straight to the point, very different. So, I mean, maybe I will turn back everything that I did before, and I will just turn to black and white photography with a Leica. I don't know. Okay. Maybe it's just that the midlife crisis coming.
Okay, yeah, it lasts. I can tell you, it's not finished after 2 years. It was really cool talking to you, and thank you for your time, for the sharing. Congratulations once more on your work. It's outstanding. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Definitely check out his website, his work. It's outstanding. Thank you, Quentin.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So good.